Well, hello, everybody. Glad to have you click on this video, and I'm excited to have Dr. Robert White with us, who is with Care for Ministries. It's an incredible ministry here in Leesburg, Florida, and he's been gracious to give us some time and to introduce the ministry to us because we have a brand new partnership with them, with the Southeast region of Open Bible Churches. And so, Dr. White, I'm going to give you a few moments here and just introduce to us what Care for Pastors is all about.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate the opportunity to share with the ministers, with the churches of the Open Bible Church. Grateful to share with you today about Care for Pastors and what we do and how perhaps you might access the services that we provide. Care for Pastors is a nationwide ministry. We minister to pastors' wives, to pastors' children, all over the United States and even into Canada. We've been around since about 2004, and last year we ministered to more than 3,000 pastors and their wives and children. We offer counsel, support, encouragement, mentoring, guidance, and coaching to the pastors, to their wives, and to their children. We believe we're the only ministry that offers a comprehensive program of care for the entire pastor's family. Nathan, you and I have talked about this, that we are not clinical therapists. That's not what we do. All of our counseling is faith-based. It is pastoral counseling. So one of the benefits of that is that when a pastor reaches out to us, or pastor's wife, or pastor's kid, they're talking with a counselor who understands pastoral ministry. And nobody understands pastoral ministry like another pastor. There are just unique challenges that exist that nobody knows about except another pastor. So what that translates to is that when a pastor is talking with us, with one of our counselors, they really don't have to explain very much, because having been in pastoral ministry, we get it. We can almost finish the sentences. Lots of experience there. So our counseling is done primarily by the internet. It's virtual counseling. So just like you and I are on a Zoom call today, we would be doing this kind of counseling. That makes it possible for our clients to have the services we provide without having to travel to us. We do have a number of clients that are close enough to us to drive to our ministry center here in Leesburg, and they have in-person counseling, which there's a different dynamic to that. And we always prefer the in-person counseling. So our counseling is done by virtual means through Zoom, sometimes through FaceTime, sometimes through Skype, but most of it's done by Zoom. Our costs are being covered by your denomination, and so it's a very simple process for these pastors to reach out to us and say, hey, I'd like to get some help, some counseling or coaching. They can go to our website and click on a tab that says get some help, and then fill out a form, and we'll get right back to them and get that process started. We do provide some other services that are free of charge. We have a private Facebook group for pastors only. It's called the Pastor's Ally. Hundreds of pastors are part of that. They have a safe place where they can share the burdens of ministry. They can encourage each other and pray for each other. We have the same thing for pastors' wives. It's called the Confidant. It's a private Facebook group. Pastors' wives can go there. They can share the burdens of ministry and know that they're not going to be condemned. They're going to be understood. They're going to be cared for. They're going to be prayed for. They're going to be supported. It's just a great outreach. And we have the same thing for pastors' kids called pastorskids.org. So those are some of the services we provide. Nathan, let me just tell you about 3 areas real quickly where we find pastors in need. One of them is in church conflict. Sometimes there's a conflict of vision. Sometimes there's a conflict between the staff themselves, and sometimes it's between power brokers within the church and the pastoral staff. And we specialize in helping navigate through that minefield and helping pastors get counsel, get perspective, and have good biblical procedures for getting through that. That's one area, church conflict.
Right.
Another area is empathy fatigue. That's where the pastor is busy taking care of everybody else, but doesn't take care of himself. And so he's running on empty. His tank is really low and he doesn't have anything left over. And so that creates a situation where he's down, sometimes depressed, sometimes feeling anxious, and empathy fatigue is one of the things we address.
I would imagine, especially the last couple of years with COVID, that particular area would be a good description for a lot of pastors.
Yeah, we do. We talk with a lot of pastors. They tell us that they're just exhausted. And many of them will say, I've never felt so inadequate in all my life, and I don't know what to do next. And part of what we do is we provide biblical, faith-based counseling, pastoral care. We offer perspective, and we try to help the pastor understand where God is in all of this and what steps they can take to care for themselves and really get perspective about what's taking place in their lives. The other area, Nathan, is marital challenges that occur.
Mm-hmm.
Ministry can take a real toll on the pastor's marriage. And so there's a lot of loneliness and isolation that occurs in pastoral ministry.
Yeah.
And we can help to realign priorities and set healthy boundaries. Healthy priorities and healthy boundaries are really essential for effective ministry. And we're able to help pastors and their wives work through some of those issues together. Those are 3 primary areas where we're able to offer some help.
Well, those are great areas, and I think, you know, when I talk to pastors around our region, certainly we hear those things too, the empathy fatigue and just the challenges of walking a congregation through COVID and all those things can add up and take a toll. And so essentially, how this works is if one of our ministers is interested to take advantage of the ministry that you're offering, they can either call in or email or visit the website. I think it's careforpastors.org.
That's correct. Yeah.
And kind of initiate that. Now, I know that your first session or first consultation is free. And then as part of our partnership, the region is going to be paying for the next 6 sessions after that. And now one of the things, Dr. White, I know that sometimes people care about confidentiality and being anonymous. And one of the great things I know in talking with you is that any pastor in our region who wants to take advantage of your ministry and this partnership They don't have to email the region. They don't have to tell the region. They can just contact you directly and
Right.
let you know that they're with Southeast Region of Open Bible Churches. And then you follow up with our office, basically letting us know what the charges are. You don't give us any names. You don't tell
Right.
us anything about their circumstance or situation. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's right. Yeah. And you're exactly right. Confidentiality is one of our core values. And in order for a pastor or his wife or his kids, for a matter, in order for them to feel safe, they have to have that. They need a safe place where they're assured that what they're about to share, which may be very personal and very painful, that it's not going to come back to bite them.
Yeah.
With somebody learning about it outside of this ministry. And so we guard that very intentionally. It is part of our core values. And I want those pastors to know that they have a safe place they can turn. And their pastors' wives, exactly the same thing. We guard that diligently, and we want to create a safe place for them.
Yeah. Yeah. As do we. I know one of the things that I love too, and you reinforced this at the beginning, is this isn't just for a pastor. It includes the pastor's spouse, as well as the pastor's children. And certainly all of that is included in the partnership that we have with you. It's not just something you offer, but it's something that we're also saying, yes, any of our ministers' spouses or children can also take advantage of this. Another thing that I love about your ministry, and we shared this at our recent pastors conference, but for those that are just learning about it for the first time, is you also have Spanish speaking
Right.
counselor. So for us, that's wonderful, because in our region, we have a number of Hispanic pastors. And so I love that your ministry includes both English speaking and Spanish speaking pastors. And we were blessed to meet Pastor Rudy Rivero down in Miami, and
Yep.
he did a great job. So yeah, I think that's a great aspect of the ministry that you offer for all this. Couple just quick questions. How long does a typical session last, Dr. White, for people who are interested in that?
We usually set aside an hour for the session. Sometimes it's a little shorter than that. It can go anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. So, but we usually set aside an hour for that time, and we can get a lot accomplished in that hour. So it really works pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. I love to. I think Rudy had mentioned this, that he's been a pastor for about 40 years.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, in the same church.
Yeah, in the same church, which you don't see that very often.
Right.
And I know you've said it several times here in this time that all of the staff has that pastoral experience and approaches things from a pastoral counseling. How many counselors are a part of your team? I know you, and I know Rudy. Do you have? I'm guessing that some of our ministry wives or our female pastors might be wondering if there are any female counselors a part of your ministry.
We do. We have a female counselor. We have other male counselors as well. And as you said, everybody here, all of our counselors, even our receptionist, our receptionist is a pastor's wife. So when you call and talk with someone here, everybody you talk to is connected to pastoral ministry, and we get it. We understand those challenges that are so unique in the pastor's life and ministry. So we feel like that's one of the strengths that we have, is that we understand what's going on in pastoral ministry and the challenges that are so unique.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to help.
Yeah. Well, that's great. One last question that I thought of, Dr. White. When can this start? Somebody's maybe watching this video right now, and we're filming it on May 17th. When can they call in?
Well, as soon as they finish watching the video, they can go to the website and click on the Get Help button there and fill out the form. That'll come to us immediately, and within 24 hours, we'll be back in touch with them.
Awesome. All right. Well, Dr. White, I know you have a busy schedule, and I appreciate your time and answering all these questions. And we will continue to provide information and communicate with our ministers in the coming months, and let them know kind of how they can connect with you, how this works. I will just say one last thing too. If any of our ministers comes to the end of their 7 total sessions, we're going to pay for 6. We've agreed to start there. But if any of our ministers, if the need merits additional sessions, then that's something that we can approach, and your clinic can make recommendations to us. And so thought that'd be an important thing just to kind of clarify before we wrap up here. But wanted to thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do. I love what you're doing for pastors, and I think it's such a great need right now, especially. And so we're hopeful that our ministers will take advantage of that. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Nathan. And let me say how blessed we are to be partnering with you. It is very encouraging to us to see a denomination that cares about its pastors and wants them to get the help they need and deserve. So it's great to partner with you, and God bless you in all that you're doing.
Yeah, God bless.
Thanks so much.